For over 2 centuries, Sikhs have been linked to the British armed services. The Sikhs and the British first encountered one another as enemies in the Anglo-Sikh wars of the 1840s. Both sides soon grew to admire the courage, integrity and skill at armed combat of their opponents. Since those times, large numbers of Sikhs volunteered to join the British Army, where they fought with distinction in many theatres of war alongside their British counterparts. In the defence of freedom during 2 world wars, over 83,000 turban-wearing Sikh soldiers were killed and more than 100,000 were wounded. Today, Sikhs are joining the British Armed Forces as equal citizens in the service of their adopted country and making an extraordinary contribution to British defence and the challenges facing our country today.
We're here today to celebrate the contribution that the Sikh community has made to the armed forces, and today being quite a poignant day in so much that it's the day of remembrance, with it being November the 11th. Being a member of the British forces, particularly the armed forces, the army, I'm immensely proud and grateful for what the Sikh community has done for the military and are still doing for the military. In particular in the job that I do, where I have Sikhs working with me, it's a great privilege to work with them.
Today we do live in a multicultural society, so for Sikhs to start to join the army, the army, RAF or navy, it just shows that we are committed to being a part of this multicultural society that we live in today.
I've been in this service from last 5 years, and when I started I realized that people don't know about us, people don't know about what is Sikh faith, why we look like this, why we behave like this. So I think although I wasn't asked to do that at starting, but I realized that I think me being a Sikh chaplain in the forces, it's my role, it should be my prime role to educate other people about myself. And I think wherever I went, they started asking me questions. Why I look like this, and what are your beliefs, what do you do, what do you believe in? And I realized that I think although I can talk to people individually, but once you can bring them together, they can have an opportunity to ask a lot of questions, and also we can talk a lot more about it. Now I do an annual conference every year, which is primarily for who are Sikhs who are serving in the forces across 3 services. And they come on and they bring their families, because I think what is painful is that our own people don't know about our faith. And once they come in there, we can talk to them. We just try to live in a Sikh way of life for 2.5 days, nearly 3 days. And all we do is we talk about Sikhi, we eat Sikhi, we live in Sikhi, really, for 3 days. And sometimes people go back, and by the time their lives has been changed, as one of us actually said this morning, that he's discovering his faith now, since he's been to that conference. So that's a 3-day conference that happens every year. But event like this, as I obviously, the vision was given to me by Guru, I wouldn't say, because the planning of these things are very, very difficult. But I think the vision was that we can educate non-Sikhs about our faith. We can tell them that these are what our needs are.
I have great respect for everybody who fights for Britain, and I have great respect for all people of different faiths, particularly people who value their faith and uphold the tenets of their faith. So therefore I have the greatest of respect for Sikhs in the armed forces. Of course, Sikhs have a great tradition. We all know of the Sikh warrior and so on, and we've spent a lot of time today hearing how Sikhs managed to marry up the beliefs that they have and the rules and customs that they have to observe with, of course, the rules and customs of the army, or I should say of all 3 services, really, the military.
Today they've done a moment where the old Sikhs, veteran Sikhs who fought in the First and Second World War, came forward and they were given a prize. And that, it was quite an emotional moment, really, to meet someone so great that they were ready to give their life for democracy, for freedom, and to make a stand, and so it inspires us. We do talks to Gurdwara, to visitors, to schools, to universities, and they come all the time on a regular basis. And one of the things we tell them, and with pride, with their head in the air, that over 250,000 Sikhs fought the British armies. 250,000 Sikhs, over 83,000 Sikhs gave their life. Over 100,000 wounded in action for Queen and country, for democracy, for freedom, and a lot of things. We didn't know that. We didn't know that. We talk about the Gurkha army. We talk about they're famous. But we never talk about ourselves. The Sikh regiments were awarded the most amount of Victoria Crosses out of any Commonwealth army.
Look at our history, like the contribution we did in World War II and World War I. I think it's quite important to have Sikhs in the British Army or in the army, because the qualities or the values we have, i.e. the integrity, the honesty, the truth, and the loyalty, I think these are the values that people are looking for in this army or these days army, and we have those values, and I think that's why it makes us important as a Sikh to be a part of the army.
What do the British Army make of these Sikh warriors?
Sikhs and the Sikh faith have been part of British and Commonwealth culture for centuries. What is clear is that the Sikh way to a good life, living honestly, working hard, treating everyone equally, being generous to the less fortunate, and serving others are exactly the values we in the Army identify with. It is therefore to our mutual benefit that we must continue to work together to encourage service in the armed forces from the Sikh community in this country.
It's massively important for the Sikhs to be part of the army. By their nature, being them a warrior nation, It's important that they play alongside us, and also to show that the British Army is a diverse organisation.
Okay, the benefits for a Sikh boy or girl joining the army is the same for any boy or girl joining the army. You have a good career, you're well looked after, and you're contributing to the country that you live in, which is a very commendable thing to do. And with Sikh boys and girls, they shouldn't feel that if they join the military that they will feel alien towards everyone, because it's nothing like that at all. We do welcome everyone with open arms, so that's the main message to get across.
It's a challenging life,